I mean, I'm already carrying around a card case. Most of us are. And I thought to myself, if I can do an effect where basically the case becomes a crystal ball and inside the crystal ball, it can reveal selected cards, I thought that would be so cool. That's what I wanted. The other thing I wanted was for the new idea to basically be able to work with any brand of cards in the world. So it had to be a card case that was not particularly dedicated to this brand or that brand. It had to be a neutral kind of thing, which I thought suited the idea of a crystal ball anyway. All right? The next thing I wanted to make sure that any transformations or changes on the case were visual enough for close-up and stand-up. That means you needed to be able to see the change, not from 2 or 3 feet, but from 10 or even 15 feet away. And a lot of times, things with playing cards, even card cases, what happens there is so small, while it might be cool close-up, so I need it to be very graphic, very, very visual. Something bold, something that could work with any design of cards in the entire world. This, you can see this from 5, 10, 15 feet away. You can see the transformation from a case that's all covered in different kinds of suits to just these 2 bold designs and everything else is blank. So I was thrilled when I came up with this initial idea. Okay, so that was challenge 1. Okay? But I also want to make sure that, and then I started thinking, well, it's got to be something that, because the change is going to happen with the case, with a wave of the hand or something like that in the hands, there was going to be a lot of heat on the case, all right? Which meant 2 things. One is I didn't want to be in this position left palming anything, and I wanted the case to be able to be examined. I mean, that's the one thing when you do a transformation is everybody, if it's I think a sort of a practical, real-world, mind-blowing trick, everybody's instinct I want to see that case now. I wanted to be able to immediately hand this out. Okay, so that was sort of the initial thinking around going from a standard case to this nice and bold and graphic. So next I was thinking, okay, what method can I do that's going to leave this clean? If it leaves it clean, that means I'm not going to add something that could be caught in the design. I need to somehow remove something. And that's when I started playing around with panels. Okay, started playing around with panels. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, these things look great. They're custom cut. They fit neatly on top here. I thought that's the way to go with this. But like I said, the moment of change, I didn't want to have to palm off anything, all right? But even before I got to the thinking of, okay, how am I going to get rid of these panels, okay? Because I don't want to have to put them on my sleeve or drop my lap. There's, of course, the questioning before that. How can I adhere them? How can I make sure they stay on? I don't want to use magnets because then the case can't be examined. I don't want to use sticky stuff, rough and smooth wax, because that stuff wears very quick. I had no idea. I got this far, basically. And then while I was practicing, I glanced at, like most magicians, I have a big pile of magic supplies, and I saw this. I've been performing for years and years. And often when I go out, I do a couple of different tricks with a dollar bill, and I do a trick, perhaps you're familiar with it, with a folded card and a paper clip. And I've always found the best way to organize my pocket and keep everything like this is with a rubber band around the case, okay? And never once has anybody, and I don't know, probably me doing it 20 years now, has ever said, can I see that rubber band? I think the rubber band is somehow tricky. And when I thought rubber band, and I was trying to figure out how to keep panels on the case, click, it all came together. Okay, of course, then the next question is, okay, fine, with a rubber band, okay, with a low-level, simple, unassuming rubber band, I can definitely keep a panel on a case. That's not a problem. But of course, now how to get rid of the panel. Now I've solved this, and then how to get rid of the panel and all that stuff. So I'm going to jump right in. In just a moment, I'm going to share with you all the very cool secrets, the handlings, the presentations, the different effects you can do with this very cool collection of gimmicks. But first, I want to let you know, okay, a couple of very quick things, just to excite you as much as I am. So we're going to be looking at the no prep handling, okay? Then a super clean handling with 2 selections. Then the 1-card quickie. The 1-card quickie Super elegant, very cool, very direct. We're going to look at some card forces because you're going to need to know how to force sometimes one, mostly two playing cards. And I got a couple of really nice. These are the ones I've used for many years, how to force two cards. Then we're going to be looking at a stand-up version with a handkerchief that I know a lot of you are going to immediately start performing. It's so clean. You're so far ahead with it, and so simple. A lot of these tricks, again, basic sleight of hand, okay? No palming, basic sleight of hand, stand up, walk around. Then I'm going to show you one where you can use your own playing cards, whatever brand of cards you love, okay? You're going to be able to use your own cards as actually the panels. Very cool. Then I think we're going to, then right near the end, I'm going to be sharing with you a handling called the blank case handling. It takes this idea, totally turns it upside down. It's a beautiful idea, and I owe a big thank you to Mr. Richard Sanders, because when we were brainstorming ideas around this, I had the original couple. I'd gone out, performed them for people. They were working really well, but as always with this kind of thing, if you're going to invest in my magic, I want to make sure I've got lots of options, lots of handlings, because I know magicians have a wide range of styles and techniques that they prefer to use and all that stuff. So that's the last one, the blank case handling, something I came up with myself and Richard Sanders. Big thanks to him. And then we're going to end with a whole bunch of final ideas. Okay, this is another whole bunch of different ideas and handlings. Okay, I'm sure at least one, probably two or three of the handlings that you are going to love. They're going to immediately appeal to you. It is only going to take you a couple of minutes to construct one of the two cases included. Okay. This X here on this panel beside the two of spades, that's where you're going to be putting glue, okay? And then over here, you're putting glue here. So you're only putting glue in two spots. Lay down the case, put the glue on the case. Down this panel, okay? Glue, and the glue I use, I find this is the best stuff, okay? White glue can crack over time, and it's messy to apply. This is the best stuff to apply, all right? So once you've applied your glue, okay? You're then going to fold in the case. Now I'm going to show you this. The first panel I tend to fold in is this one, the bigger one, okay? Got the glue there. I put the panel there, all right? So where the glue is inside the case on that side. Hope that's very clear, okay? Then you put the flaps in, all right? Fold this down. That's the other one with the glue. And from below, this comes up. That's done, all right? Now, those are the only two panels where you're applying glue. To finish up, what I suggest you do is push the flaps in here, close the major flap up here, and put a rubber band. Of course, you got a couple of bands included. One running, I guess it's vertically, the other running horizontal, let's see, lengthwise and widthwise. That way, and then leave it overnight. Give it a chance. Now, one last tip is what I do, too, is before I wrap it all up like this, okay? I put a rubber band around the side, okay, and then I put a case inside, close it all up, and put the rubber band around this way. With a case, with a deck, I should say, a deck inside the case. Letting it dry with the deck inside and rubber band this way, I really find is the best way to go with these, and overnight they dry perfectly and ready for performance. This is a move that is easy to do. Okay, but it takes a bit of knack and a bit of confidence. So it's one of these things you definitely want to practice, even though there's not a lot of finger movement or anything like that. It also gets supported by presentation, and you'll see exactly how in a second. Assuming you got a deck of cards, inside the case here, grab one of the panels, okay? Slap it on either side, just for this demonstration we're showing here. Put a rubber band around it. Okay, now look. You can see I'm showing you both sides of the case here. And of course I'm not. You know I'm actually just showing one side twice. But this is based on an old Vernon move, and it flies by people every single time. Now if you draw attention, you say, now watch very carefully. I'm honestly going to be showing you both sides of the case, then it's not going to work, okay? But it's something that you, as you saying along to someone, you say, so you're thinking of a playing card, right? Now, do you see the suit on this side? You do. And how about on that side? Do you see the suit on that side too? Okay? Or maybe you're talking to two people, okay? Can you see this suit on that side? You can. And how about you? Can you see the suit on that side? You can. So I've just demonstrated you two kind of different handlings. One is what I call the one-handed handling, and where you're holding the case here. You put it here, okay? And you're going to do the turn. You're here. You do the turn. What I'm going to do is this. Here's the actual technique here is, as the hand turns over, the thumb pushes the case over. So grab the case. Make sure you're following along with me here. Let's assume you're right-handed. You're going to put it here. You don't want to prop it up too high. It's sort of down here. You want it to make it look like it's lying pretty much flat on your hand here like this, okay? Then you're going to push with the thumb up, pull in with the fingers. And as you do that, turn over, okay? Here. Now notice, if you try with a little extra hand, rather than trying to do it as tightly as you can like this, though really, I mean, that looks beautiful. It really looks like you're showing the top and the bottom. It's the top and there's the bottom. But if you want, you could add a little bit more up and down action with the right hand, right? Really give a larger sense that you're really turning this over. Once you get it down with one hand, the left hand can help in here. Then you can hold it briefly in here like that, okay? And like I said, I typically will use it. Sometimes I'll be saying to people in a stand-up show, I say, this might look like just a card case, but it's actually a crystal ball. I mean, you know, the ink seems dry, but it can reflect the reality and what people are thinking of, the reality of different playing cards. And people think I'm nuts, right? But so I'm doing it while casually showing it. Now that's the one-handed, okay? Two-handed is where you take this, and this is definitely better for stand-up, okay? It's here. I turn over, do the technique, lay it right on the other hand on the thumb, and go back. Okay? Do you see the suit you're thinking of here? You do. And how about you on the other side here? You do. Okay, great. So you can do it. This. Okay. This is sort of more for close-up, I think, and then more for a larger stand-up group where you're going back and forth. And again, you don't want to do this many times, but just a couple of times. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's try something a little different here, okay? Little bit different. I'm going to have a card selected, okay? And we'll come on over here. You can see they're all different. All the playing cards are different. I'm going to go through the cards, and what I'd like you to do is just say stop whenever you want on a card. They say stop at a card. I cut right there, and I show some of the card, okay? I say, take a look. Remember that card. Keep it in mind. Wait a second. No, Fred, I already showed you that trick with the coin trick, okay? So, Fred, if you don't mind, I forget about the card. Don't keep it in mind. I'm going to try something with Sheila over here. Sheila, okay, I'm just going to go through the cards, say stop whenever you want. She says stop. I cut the cards. I show her card. Okay, keep that in mind. That's the card we're going to use. Keep it in mind. Now, you can even shuffle the cards, which they can. They can shuffle the cards. Concentrate on the card you have in mind. It's very important, all right? So, when you look at the pattern on this card case, okay, can you see the suit? You're thinking of your card, it's either a heart, club, spade, or diamond. Can you see it on the top here? You can. And how about on the other side? Can you see it there? Okay, so you can see it on one of the two sides, okay? Concentrate on the card, okay? Watch. Just going to put my hand on it. Here we go like that. I'm pushing, I'm thinking, I'm concentrating. Tell everybody, what was the card you were thinking of? She announces, of course, it was the 3 of diamonds, and I go, boom. Transformation. 3 of diamonds. Pretty cool, huh? But wait a second. I recall you were actually thinking of a card as well, right? You were thinking of a playing card as well. So let's see if I can maybe find your card as well. Here we go. Just a rub. Like this. Boom. 2 of spades. Okay. So this handling is definitely one of my favorites because it flows, it's got natural drama, there's that whole, hey, I love the impromptu quality of coming back to this person and able to make the change, and it fulfills everything I wanted. Super visual, easy to do, no palming, and they can examine the case afterwards with no switches required. Here's the setup. What do we have? So, we've got our 3 of diamonds and 2 of spades on top of the deck, okay? I'm going to teach you one force here, but then later on I will show you a couple others, okay? We got our 3 of diamonds, 2 of spades, okay? 3 on top, 2 of spades. Boom, like this, all right? Like this. Now, the first card we're going to show is the card we're going to reveal last. So it's the 2 of spades, the one you want on top, 3 of diamonds below, like this, all right? Then get the AMAZINK case, okay? We're going to put the cards inside the case. In they go, close up the case. And where we're going to put this, we've got, for some of the gimmicks you're going to make on this tutorial, you're going to need to cut a panel, and you'll see why in a second. But take one of the panels for now, and this is why it's important to watch the full tutorial, okay, before you customize any of the panels, all right? You're going to put it on the side with the 2 of spades on there. Put a rubber band, okay? Put a rubber band around one way. Put another rubber band around the other way. Now, if I have this prepared case inside my magic case, okay, if I'm doing a stand-up show, whatever, I don't even think about putting 2 rubber bands on. But if it's in my jacket pocket, I want to make sure the panel doesn't move, right? So I've got rubber band this way, rubber band that way. It's going nowhere in my pocket. Here's the performance, really simple. Take out the case, right? Take off the rubber band that's running vertically. Okay. Open the case and just shake out the cards like you normally would. Okay, boom, out they come. Like this, without flashing the back, okay? You want to make sure it's pointing down. You don't want to flash this back, okay? Then you can take this and literally drop it on the table. No one's looking twice at it, okay? Don't get caught thinking like a magician. You can just drop it on the table. You're done. Everybody's over here, right? You've got your 2 force cards on top. I'm just using a simple riffle force. What that is I cut the cards, I keep a little break with my finger, pinky break. I riffle, and when they say stop, I just cut to the break. It's that simple. I show, and you can either take it in one hand so everybody can see, or you can kind of raise the stakes a bit by just pushing it off a little bit and letting that person have a peek at the card so it doesn't even come out of the deck, right? You're there. Then you pause, you go, wait a second, you already helped me with something, and I come over here. And I just need to get rid of this one. I can either slip it into the pack, boom, like this. I can take a break and double undercut it to the bottom, whatever. I need it off the top of the deck, so this is next, right? So now I'm here, I do the same thing with her. I cut the cards, keep a break, riffle, she says stop, and show her card. And I focus everybody's attention, sort of forget about that card, right? We're going to focus on this one. And this is what makes this so dramatic and magical, right? Because this is an afterthought. So you're here. Give the cards a shuffle. I love to shuffle the cards when I can, because so often you're using a setup, right? Take the deck, slip it back inside it. And again, you just want to make sure you don't flash this side too early, right? Slip it inside like this, boom, like this, okay? Now you're going to use that line about the suit of your card. You have one in mind. Can you see it on this side, and can you see it on that side too, okay? And again, you can do the small turn, right? Boom. Or you can do the bigger turn here and that side, especially if the whole audience knows. Can everybody see the suit on that side? You can. And how about over here on the other side? So you can bring that back over here like this, right? They have just seen both sides of the case in their mind, okay? So don't make a move of this. There's so many ways to do this. You could pick this up here, come over here, and just wipe. Really magical, all right? They've seen both sides. You pick it up and wipe. Magical, okay? Or on the offbeat, they've seen this. You can lower the hand. The back of the hand is covering this. Lower the hand and just flip this over. Sort of as the hand comes down on the offbeat, you're here. You come back up. And this can leave people with the impression that sort of it was here and you want to wipe this here. And so you can show this here, come over here and come up here and then wipe like that, okay? But you can, again, don't make a move of this. You really want it to look like you simply, that's why it's so nice to show in this side. They've seen both sides, right? Now you're here like this, and now just coming over and even doing this and squeezing and then boom like that, and they get to see that, okay? So that's change one. Boom, gets a great reaction, looks like real magic. And remember, they could have taken any card. Any card in the pack is their impression. So the fact that, I mean, even if this wasn't a magical change, okay? Notice this. Even if they selected a card, put it back, and you said, what's the card? 3 of diamonds, and you slowly turn this over, that's a great trick. Even though you didn't pretend any transformation of ink, right? So to be able to add to that in fact, boom, you've shown both sides of the ink is even more magic. Okay, so you're here. Then on the offbeat, okay, you go, wait a second, you chose a card too. And you can either pull, you're going to slip this off as you remove the deck. It's that simple. No palming, no magnets, okay? Now, you can either leave the rubber band in place, or you can say, wait a second, and you're just going to hold the panel. Okay? You're going to say, wait a second, you chose a card too, right? I mean, we went through the pack, and so basically you're here, right? You're going to keep the panel square as you open the case, dump out the cards, and of course, as you dump out the cards, what happens? The panel goes along for the ride. Okay. Boom, this is in your pocket, this is in your case, whatever. They've seen 2 sides of this case and you changed one side. Then you're here like this. And again, now you're not going to do any show at this point, okay? But I'll show you a handling idea with that. But you're here like this and you go, I want you to concentrate on yours. And what you might want to do, and I've done this before, is with the first one, they don't announce it out loud. They're just thinking of it, boom, you reveal the 3. For the second one, though, which is nice, you say, well, look, you were thinking of 1 too, you're over here. See, for the first time, name it out loud. That way, it kind of builds the drama of it. They say 2 of spades, and now everyone's wondering, when he moves his hand away, is it really going to be 2 spades there? Out of all the cards of the pack? 2 of spades, you're sure, 2 of spades. Okay, let's go with 2 of spades. And like I said, I fulfilled my criteria. I want it all along. Case can be examined, boom, like that. If you happen to put this in your jacket pocket or your case, whatever, you can reach right inside. You can easily feel the corners on the panel. So I can reach right inside, leave the panel in my pocket, okay? I don't have a pocket right here, but we'll put it on the table. Leave the panel in my pocket, take out the cards, and go on from there. Here is another very different handling that I've workshopped a bunch of times in front of real people. Never got caught. No one made a comment, nothing like this. I have to tell you that right now because, let me go back in time about 20 years. When I first, well, not 20 years, even more than that, but when I first started performing with bicycle cards, the card case design then was very similar to the way a lot of card cases all over the world often have. And that is, they have the design, the back design of the playing card printed on one side of the card case. Very common that you get to see the full back design on at least one side of the card case. And that looks like this. This is how, for years, bicycle cards always had on one side, they had printed the playing card design, which makes so much sense. And again, you never took out your case and people wanted to examine it. They just assumed that's how they are. So with that principle in mind, you can do something super sneaky now. Grab a 3 of diamonds, grab a 2 of spades from your favorite pack of cards, okay? Put them on both sides of the card case, okay? So these are just the loose cards with a rubber band holding them casually, holding them in place. Then you've got a 3 of diamonds, you've got 2 dupes, another 3 of diamonds, another 2 of spades here, okay? Whole thing carried in here, and this is so organic, right? So simple, that's it. No other panels, no other anything, right? When you want to perform this, it's you're opening the case, you're dumping out your cards. This you drop on the table, that's it. Force the 2 cards here. They go back inside the case like this. Say, everybody concentrate on your cards. We're going to try something with the ink on the card case. And as you say, the ink on the card case, my thumb presses down on that. I'm holding the other one below. I take off the rubber band, right? And I'm here, and now I can do that crazy effect I taught you at the beginning, where the first person's thing of their card, you snap, and their card seemingly, I want to back this up a little bit so you can see it hit the table here. Okay, snap, and their card melts, boom, right through the card case, which in and of itself, just think about it. Selected card, they grab a card, put the cards fairly in here, and their card just melted through the card case. Great trick. That's a great magic moment. Turn over the case, say, go ahead, name your card. They do, and boom, the second card melts through the case, okay? Like this. And where are you? You're all set up for the reveals now, and the case is clean. So in any way you want, and I'm going to touch on a few different ways to do this near the end of the video, a few different ideas, but now you can, of course, reveal that the card case is transformed on this side and this side to reveal the identity of both cards. What a clean, elegant handling. This is a completely different approach, all right, with a very different effect. I performed this a bunch of times, not so much close-up, but more at stand-up, as a closure for a stand-up show. This works beautifully. For this, you're going to have to gimmick the cards in a special way, okay? You've got your 2 of spades and your 3 of diamonds, but what I've done is I lay a 2 of spades down on one of the panels, boom, put some glue on it, stick it down like this, just laid it down, put some glue on the back of it, laid it down on one of the panels. Left it overnight, and where you want to leave it overnight is in a book, okay? These gimmicks, I just made these about 5 minutes ago, so they're buckling a bit. It's important that the cards are as flat as possible. So once you apply the glue, and before you trim them, you put them inside a book or underneath a couple of books and leave them overnight, okay? So they dry beautifully and nice and flat. You want that. Then you're going to take a pair of scissors, and you can see here, let me get real close here. I've trimmed the edges, the corners off the panels. So they've got a nice rounded, okay? So from even like a few feet, they just look like a playing card, right? 2 of spades, 3 of diamonds. I've got my 2, okay? Now this is so easy and so magical. This is, okay, so got your card case, okay? You're gonna get your deck of cards, gonna make sure you're ready to force the cards, and I'll teach you a couple of different forces in a moment, right? This is inside the case, or even easier, is just to have this and this, Okay, close the case here like that. Have the rubber band going around, okay, like this, okay. You can use 2 rubber bands if you want. You could use the 2 going, you could use 1, or you could take 1 and twist it, but then it starts to sort of, the tension then is quite a lot on the card case. So you may just want to use 1 or 2, okay? Then take a $10 bill, put it under there, like I've done on my own card cases for years, and you are all set, okay? Now you can start with the deck in here, take it out, or you can just have this in your case, or in your inside breast pocket of your jacket, whatever, and you're set to go. Really, this is such a strong closing effect. So, at some point in your show, you force the 2 cards, both cards are selected, they're both put back in the pack, have someone give them a shuffle. Super fair conditions. Say we're gonna try to find both playing cards, and I'm even gonna risk some money. And you bring out the case, open the case like this, put the cards inside the case, and say the money I'm going to risk is actually going to be, right here, you can see it, is this, I'm going to risk a $10 bill. And you hand that to someone. Take a look at that. Is that a real $10 bill? They say, yes, it is, okay? Now, just by now, having a firm grip on the 2 panels on both sides, remove the rubber band, right? You're here like this. You're going to hold the case. You're holding one panel with the tips here. The other is staying on top with gravity, but it's just my first finger like this, okay? And you say, concentrate on the card. So the first time, name the card. The moment someone names the card, snap, drop, like this. Let it hit the table, or in this case, it landed right on the floor. And of course, boom, you reveal the first card, the 2 of spades. Now, when it hits the table, boom, like this. Let me see if I can get that in the shot there. When it hits the table, close-up wise, it's basically a double lift on the table, right? Falls, it's a double lift on the table. But first, not everybody can see it. And second, if you're feeling in any way, because it's close-up, you don't want someone to see the little edge of the panel. If you're somehow thinking like a magician, then I immediately turn it up and show it to everybody. 2 of spades was the card. And where does this go? It goes in my pocket. Gone. Boom, in my pocket. Found the first card. Even though they saw you put the deck in the case, impossibly, the first card is melted through the case. Now you turn the case over and you go ahead and name the second card. Second card gets named, drops as well, 3 of diamonds, boom, like this. And where are you? You just cleaned up both panels. There was no false turnover. And now you're ready for the crazy closer, where I can say, actually, I found the selected cards, but I don't know if you know this card case is actually a crystal card case. And I could have, too, at some point, of course, said, do you see yours on that side? Then I turned it over because I had the 2 panels. The card you're thinking of one of these suits? It is, and you can slowly turn over. How about that one there? So they see all this before you do the really sweet, boom, reveal of a card. Impossible melting down over here, boom. Impossible melting down, and you've just cleaned up everything. So you can finish by then saying, actually concentrate, and you can, of course, have a spectator put her hand on top of this, think of your card, and then reveal 3 of diamonds, right? And then show your hand, turn it over, go ahead, have the spectator concentrate on their colors, all the colors. Do you remember the clubs, spades, diamonds, all the colors on this card case? They're melting away, right down to just yours, 2 of spades. And you end in this impossible situation again with this beautiful transformation of the card case. And of course, the case can be examined. Let's look at a few other 2-card forces. I bet you already know a couple yourself. And earlier on this video, I kind of walked through and touched on the basics of the riffle force, right? Where you cut the pack, keep a break, and you can riffle force. They call stop where they want. Let's look at a few more. Okay? This is a very elegant one. It's very old. It's amazing how many magicians don't know it. But just in case you don't know it, this works really well when you're trying to force 2 cards, okay? Have the spectator, you put the deck on the table. So fair, okay? Like this. Ask the spectator to reach on over and lift off a small packet of cards, 5, 10, 12 cards, whatever. They really have 100% free choice to lift them up. They do that. Say, turn them over and drop them face up on the deck. Okay? Totally making a mess at this point. But then say, look, let's go even more random, even crazier. Not just a few cards. Cut really deep in the deck. 20, 30 cards, whatever. They reach down. They cut a whole bunch of cards. They turn them over. They drop them. Say, I think you'd agree that you cut the cards not once but twice. Totally random, wherever you want it. The 2 cards we're going to use are going to be whichever 2 cards are the first face-down cards we come to. Could have been any of these cards, any but you cut, and here we are, these 2 cards. Everybody go ahead, remember those 2 cards, and of course they are the force cards. This is the Henry Christ force. It is marvelous. It is Henry Christ, yes. It's a heavenly force. Thank you. It's a wonderful force, and in case you're not familiar with it, you got your 2 force cards on top, right? It's not that common a force, I think, because it doesn't seem elegant, but to me, the fact that the cards are on the table and the spectator cuts wherever they want, it's a brilliant force. It's a perfect force. So here's what you're doing. And this works automatically. As long as the force cards are on top, the spectator, and you emphasize, cut off, the first packet needs to be smaller than the second. All right? So what you say to the spectators, I want you to lift up some cards, 5, 10, 12 cards, a small packet of cards, whatever you want. And they do that. They grab some cards. I want you to turn them face up so they're facing the ceiling and drop them right down the deck. See, now, of course, we've made a bit of a mess of the deck, but we're going to even make more of a random mess of the deck. Those words really support the randomness at all. This time, let's go crazy. I want you to cut even to more cards, 30, 40 cards, wherever you want again, wherever you want. You keep emphasizing, turn those over and drop them down. Now, what this does is it automatically, because you're turning once and turning twice, it automatically means that the first 2 face-down cards you come to will always be the force cards, okay? So you can show these this way, or thumb one off here, and then take the next one off there to show them, keeping them in the deck, and right like that. So that's the Henry Christ force. It's wonderful for this 2-card force. Okay, next force. Next force is the Vernon substitute transfer. I use this a lot. It's wonderful. These 2 cards start on the bottom. Now for this, what's nice is you have a different kind of fairness where you spread out the cards, touch any card you want. They have 100% free choice. Okay, they touch a card there, great, like that. Say touch another card, they touch another card like that. You say, I think you'd agree you could have touched any 2 cards in the pack, 100% free choice. But let's see, the 2 cards you cut to are the touch 2 and the 3. So this is the Vernon substitute transfer. This will take more practice. Okay, but you can do it. It's a great thing. I'll just say they can touch any 4 cards and they touch the 4 aces. That effect alone is wonderful, all right? As long as the 4 aces are on the bottom, same technique will apply. Here we go. The 2 and the 3 on the bottom. I spread out the cards, touch one, and this is called forward jog or out jog. 1 card. They touch another one. Now, I need to get a break above the bottom 2 cards. There's 2 ways to do it, a bunch of ways, but one way is I'm going to spread out the cards and have you touch any 2. Even in the gesture of saying before they touch, you're going to touch any 2, you can then get a break with your pinky above the bottom 2 cards then. Or, as I did in the performance for you, you can spread them out and say touch a card, great, touch another one, great, and I think you'd agree you could have touched any 2 cards in the pack. And again, I'm spreading down to the bottom casually, supporting my actions verbally, any 2 cards. Then I square the cards, and I've got my break under the above the top 2 cards, above the bottom 2 cards, sorry. Now, you kick these, angle. So see the angle there? Now, I want it to look like I'm going to simply strip these 2 cards out, okay? But what in fact I do is I strip out the bottom 2 cards with these. Here's the secret from below. If you're a house cat sitting below the magician, these 2 cards go along for the ride as I strip them out, all right? And I keep a break between the 2 cards and the other 2 cards for just a beat as my hand naturally swings back up, and you can either square the deck, grabbing these 2 back underneath, okay? I'm here. Just by squaring the deck, I can leave the 2. Or, a nice tip here about my great friend Richard Sanders is here. As I come back, I can grab the bottom 2 cards between my thumb and middle finger. I'm grabbing them back underneath, okay? And in a continuing action, I can turn these over and put them down. Nice visual misdirection. You could even, sometimes I'll even turn these over, spread these out, and emphasize you could have touched any 2 cards in the pack. All the misdirections here, and no one sees the switch of those 2 cards, okay? So that's another really nice 2-card force. Last one. Boy, I like this one. This is so sweet, okay? Where they touch a card, okay, boom, like this, and you clearly pull the card out of the deck. It's 1 force card. They touch another one, any one they want. They can even change their mind. And again, you very clearly pull the card right out of the deck. So this is a variation of Frank Garcia's move, Topper, and it works beautifully, right? Top 2 cards, they touch a card, I outjog it. Now, here's the secret action. As the hand tilts the deck slightly, and I'm going to squeeze the card, I'm going to push the card with my fingers back into the deck and pull the top card off with my thumb, okay? But because I'm turning over, and the sound here, I'll do it again here. Like they touch any card, they can change their mind. In turning the hand over and apparently removing the card, I'm going to push this flush into the pack, turning over, and just my thumb, just dragging it off, and my fingertips are there to receive the card. Like that. In performance speed, they touch one card, touch another card. They touch one card here like this. Out it comes, and another card. And notice how it comes. What I really like about this too is you can remove the card, or you can just give them a peek where they touch any card. And I want it to look like I'm giving a quick peek at the card here and then pushing it flush. But what I do is the exact same technique, okay? Where I push this in, but rather than pulling it off, I only pull it partially off. And I flick it. Now it's actually the top card. But if you've angled, if you don't want to do it this way, but if you angle your hand back enough, nobody can tell the slight difference between it being apparently here, okay, and apparently here. You give them a peek at that, and I'm holding with thumb and fingers, then tap, and as I come down, I can even riffle the deck a little bit to suggest it was just in the middle of the deck. Now, I'm going to reveal the secrets to a new gimmick. This is another different kind of gimmick you can make. It takes a few seconds with the props, all the specially printed props that are included with AMAZINK. Here it is. I've taken one of the panels, and you can round the corners if you want, but you'll see for this one, this is a stand-up version, really. And I've performed it a bunch of times with great success, but never removed the corners here. There's no need to, but you can if you want. Now, what I have here is a piece of tape. I have the little beginning of it, maybe 1/4 of an inch on the panel, and then another, I don't know, inch and a quarter, whatever, on the 5, okay? Like this. Really elegant. Now watch. You're going to love this. It's so clean. It uses gravity, natural actions, really cool. So let me show you how this functions first, and then I'll show you how we're going to use it in a very dramatic way with this white napkin, or white handkerchief. If I slip this with the card on the inside, I'm talking about the 2 of spades side, card on the inside and this on the outside, boom, look at that. So clean, okay? It's on there, it is permanent. If you want, you can add, for a little bit of psychological security, you can use a rubber band on it. Doesn't draw attention to itself, it's just there, rubber band, okay? Or not even use it with the rubber band. You'll see the handling here mostly happens inside the napkin, so there's really nothing. But let's go, for now, we'll assume you got the rubber band on it. Now, so what does this allow us to do? Notice, probably the most natural way, or really organic, simple, layperson way, if you got a deck of cards inside a case, right? Deck of cards inside this case. If you want to remove the cards from the case, you would be hard-pressed to find a more natural way to do it than to open the case, right? And spill out the cards. Gimmick's gone. Because it was attached or taped to the first card in the deck, it automatically comes out under cover of a totally natural, not a lot of practice, no sleight of hand behavior. We're here. It's there just by turning the deck, the card case, over. All the cards and the gimmick slide right out together, leaving this clean. Lots of different things you can do with this. So let me show you 2 real simple ones, okay? This is here. We'll set up our gimmick here. We've got our 2 force cards on top of the deck here. Put the deck in with the faces facing the same side as the panel. Close this up like this. Flap goes down. Rubber band again if you want to. Boom, like this. But however, the tape gimmick keeps everything really nice and secure. You're like this. You're like this. Say to the audience, final trick. Maybe you use another deck of cards, maybe giving away, whatever. You can put the other deck of cards away because you say right now, last thing I'm going to use, I always keep inside this folded napkin because it's very valuable. It's a mind-reading card case. It picks up the thoughts of everybody in the room. So please, clean thoughts, clean thoughts. Let's keep it PG, okay? Boom, you show this, you show this, you show this, okay? momentarily, napkin down on the table, on your case, on a chair. See, now this might look like an ordinary card case with just all the suits printed on both sides, but like I said, it's a mind-reading card case. So I'll show you exactly what I mean here, like this. You drop the case, pick up the napkin, right? You're here. If you want, again, you remove the rubber band, like this. Say, I'm going to have you guys think of 2 playing cards, one of 2 cards, okay? And I want to make sure it's a totally fair choice of playing cards. At the same time, I'm going to have somebody hold on to the case. Careful with this, hold on to that between them. And of course, all the secret work is done. This person is now holding on to the card case, all ready for the amazing sort of revealing, the reveal of the selected cards. Did it under test conditions, no palming, no difficult sleight of hand. They can examine the case at the end. It fulfills all the conditions I want originally. Someone's holding on to that. You pick this up here. You've got your 2 force cards on top. There are a bunch of different ways you can force it, even riffle forces with the panel still in there, okay? You'll find it's got a tiny little corner against a stand-up piece, but the whole thing still handles. I can still cut cards, I can riffle force, I can double undercut, all with a little panel in the pack, okay? After the cards are put back in the deck, I can even shuffle the deck just by doing a Hindu shuffle, okay? And a Hindu shuffle is where I'm pulling cards, not from the bottom, but really from the middle of the pack, okay? From the middle of the deck, and then pulling them off on top like this. But boy, the whole thing looks really casual, okay? Do not sweat it. We're talking about, a 2 millimeter corner of a card somewhere near the bottom of the deck. Don't sweat it. But what you've been able to do is force. Then you have the person pass this to the first person, concentrate on your card. Second person, concentrate on your card. Remind everybody it was a mind-reading card case. Sometimes it even picks up on the thoughts. What was the card you were thinking of? The first person, of course, they say out loud a 2 of spades, and you reveal. You go, ladies and gentlemen, look, the pattern is 2 of spades, and what was yours? 3 of diamonds. Slowly turn this around like that, and boom, it's all examined. So I love that. Now, a variation on that real quickly is you can, in a couple of tricks from now, a little later in this tutorial, I'm going to show you the idea that came with Richard Sanders, really clean, where the box starts apparently white, unprinted. You can apply the same thing here with the same gimmick, all right? Take the gimmick and turn it this way. Slip it in like this. Blank out, okay? Then you can have everything in the case, do absolutely everything the same. But when you're doing your turnovers, you've got your rubber band on here. Now, when you take it out and say it's a mind-reading card case, it looks like a misprint from the factory. It just looks like a blank case, like I went low rent for you guys. But actually, it can pick up on thoughts. The exact same thing, I've just reversed it, same handling, same everything. But you start, so the question to you is, which do you prefer? Going from a case that looks that's covered in ink, right? And then just down to their selections, okay? Number 1. Or do you prefer a case that looks completely blank and then their selections are somehow revealed, okay? I think they both have different virtues. As always, with all this cool stuff, it comes down to your style. Here's a different kind of presentation with a different kind of psychology. This I performed with great success at walk-around gigs. I'm at a banquet, I'm at a corporate function, 200 people, I just want to go bam, bam, bam. This works really, really well, okay? Card selected as before, you go through like this, riffle, you can use a classic force or riffle force, whatever you want. Card is selected, you have someone take a look at that. Remember, keep it in mind, okay? Gonna cut that back into the pack here like this, and with any luck, let's see, I snap my fingers, and just like that, I've been able to make your card rise to the top. That was the card you selected, right? They say no. See, this wasn't your card. They say no. You go, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Hold out your hand for me. I'll put the card on your hand, put your other hand on top, which they do. Think about your card. Now, I don't know, is the suit you're thinking of, whether it's hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades, do you see it on this side of the case? They say, yes, they do. And I say, what about the other side of the case? They say, yes, they do. I say, look, concentrate on your card. Watch. I'm just going to give this a little squeeze of my hand. What was the card? They say 2 of spades. I spread my fingers and show. Impossibly, there now is the 2 of spades. I put this in my pocket and I say, open your hand. They open their hand and they find the jack has changed to the 2. So this is a different kind of approach. It's really quick. It's really organic. It involves the audience. And one of the virtues about it, of course, is rather than involving 2 cards, it just involves 1 card. Okay, it's visual. And notice I structured it so that the beat after this impossible moment, rather than ending there, where maybe people want to grab the case, take a look at it, and they can't because of the panel on this side, right? What in fact we do is boom, and then all attention naturally goes back to the spectator holding their card, right? Everybody swings here. Then you build on this to get to this impossible change. So this is really nice for bars. Like I said, walk around. It's a real quickie. The handling, of course, all we've got is one of the panels, just the panel covering the 3 of diamonds in this case, right? Got the rubber band going this way, like that. All good to go. I can carry the cards in the case like this if I want. And notice too, a little tip, I don't recall if I shared it with you. I think I did though, is you can put one rubber band this way and one rubber band that way with the case inside, and this can be in your pocket. And that way you can, at the beginning, you can take off the one rubber band, then go on from there, leaving this, going to a bunch of cartridge, whatever. But what it does with the double rubber band is it makes sure that panel, when you take it out of your pocket, it makes sure you don't have this situation, which of course is, you don't want that. Okay, so you're here, and the rest is just a double lift, right? This is on the table here like this, or could be in your pocket, whatever. You force the 2 of spades. All you need to know for this one is where the 2 of spades is in the deck. Okay, and one of the ways I do that professionally, if I'm in the middle, I'm running around doing a million tricks, my mind's going a million miles a second, I say, here, let's try something else. Let me get a card here, let me get a card. What are we going to use? Well, actually, what are we going to use here? Which card? Let's see. Well, instead of me choosing the card, you're going to choose the card. So all I've done is I've gone through the deck and stopped, and under misdirection, theatrical misdirection, I'm saying, wait a second, let me choose, it's crazy, I want you to choose the card. I just casually cut the cards, bringing the 2 to the top, right? Now use whatever force you really like to use. Have the card put back in the pack, right? Okay. Control to the top. In this case, I'll just do a double undercut like this. And now I'm going to do a double lift, right? I'm going to come on over here, grab the top 2 cards. One, was that your card? It wasn't. I'm surprised. Weird. Okay, well, hold your hand for me. Going to do this very slowly. This like this, and put your other hand on top and hold on tight to the king. And I always repeat the name of the card I showed them. Hold on tight to the king. It really nails the idea that that's still the king when in fact it's the 2, right? Back over to here. And notice, you can say, do you see the suit on this side? You do. And you see it on that side, right? Or we know we can do the big over here like this. And then back over here. Notice, too, by doing the hand transfer, what's kind of nice is rather than this showing twice and then covering my hand that way, I can show this transferred over to this. And now when I move it back over here, there's a nice back. By transferring it between the hands, I think there's some virtues with that final, because rather than having to sort of readjust your hand in any way, they see this side. They see that side, and the side they just saw now, when I bring it back up, this swaying, I do it once from right to my left, right? And then by going back here, it beautifully, I think, keeps the image of that they saw this side just a moment ago down here, really vividly maintains that, okay? If that makes any sense at all. Here, and then, of course, the all-important moment where just by waving your hand or rubbing a little bit, you get that beautiful final boom moment, which is so magical, okay? And then, of course, like I said, then this goes in my case, this goes in my pocket, whatever, boom, get rid, and all focus comes to there, and you get this nice build and this ending with the reveal like that. Here is a very cool handling I created with my dear friend Richard Sanders, all right? Take it out of your pocket. It's a card case. Point out they got a rubber band. I got a rubber band running all the way around the case, okay? So nothing can get in, nothing can get out, all right? So we'll get back to that in a second. You can introduce that earlier in your show at some point, though. You go through, have someone call stop, and you show 2 playing cards. What a coincidence. You show those 2 cards, right? And those cards are shuffled back into the pack. And you say, okay, we're going to try something. You first selected any 2 cards, put them back inside the pack, right? Say, look, I'm going to take this card case, put it on top of the deck here, and just cover the case with my hand. And see if with just a little rub we can reveal the identity of one of the cards you chose. Boom. They see impossibly 2 black spade pips appear on the card case. You say, look, we'll try it again. I'm just going to rub the case against the pack, okay? Just like this. And see if maybe the second card is also revealed. super magical. You then hand the case to somebody, and impossibly, even though they would swear they chose any 2 cards, when they look inside the case, there is their 2 of spades, and there is their 3 of diamonds. Super elegant. Very clean. A lot of things I like about this too. Frankly, and it sounds arrogant, I know, but on this tutorial, you know, I came up with a couple of basic handings, workshopped them, they worked well, and I came up with this approach, that approach, this approach. Now I would be very hard-pressed. If I had to choose one favorite out of everything on here, I don't know if I could do it. But definitely this would be in the short running. It's really elegant, really simple, really practical. So you can do one of 2 things. Get a playing card, right, and cut a piece of white paper. You know, the card I would use would be like an ace of hearts with as little ink on it as possible. Get a piece of cardstock or maybe 2 pieces of really thin white paper and glue them on the card, right? You can do that. Or a lot of playing card companies now give you a card or can, excuse me, if you get a mixed pack of gimmicks from a certain pack design, it'll just be a blank face card. That's what I have using here. Got the blank face playing card. This is just so clean, okay? I've got my 2 and my 3, my dupes. They're inside the card case. Boom, face down for a bit of drama. Close the case up. This is on top of the case here on the 3 of diamonds side. Rubber band on here running, I guess, the length of the case. And rather than it just being a rubber band on a case that no one cares about, now it's actually serving a function, so you can draw attention to it a little bit. But that's your setup here at any time in your show, right? Deck is shuffled, okay? Deck is shuffled anytime. What you need to do, if you're not going to use it as an opener, what you need to do, of course, is be able to get your 2 force cards where you want. Or, as I often say on my tutorials, because it really works very well, have your 2 force cards in your pocket. Have this deck. Deck is shuffled. You can do a bunch of card tricks, anything you want with a shuffled deck. When you're ready to close your show with this shocker, what you do is you put the deck in your pocket, okay? And because these are lying in my pocket this way, when I put the deck in my pocket, I can feel with my fingers. I slip the deck, boom, in front of the 2 cards in my pocket, loading them right on, all right? Then I go into mentalism, I do something else, a non-card trick, and finish with this. Take out the deck. I've got my force cards where I want them. Really elegant, no sleight of hand, right? Reach in your pocket, introduce this. This is all set up here. Talk about it being a card case. Now notice, I don't really feel like I have to say it's a blank card case because people can see, rubber band, it's a card case. People can see it is in fact a card case, okay? You say it's a card case, they can see it's blank. You don't necessarily have to draw attention to that. But I point out I got a rubber band running all the way around the case. Perfect verbal support and justification for turning over the case to show it, right? Got the rubber band. So nothing can get in, nothing can get out, right? Drop that on the table or whatever you want. Force your 2 playing cards that are on top after they're forced, shuffle them back into the pack, whatever, like this. And now, if you want, you say, look, now this card case, remember the rubber band's running all the way over. Now you take this and very simply, right? Just put this on top of the deck here. Everyone can see it, right? Like this. And you want to put it, you want to put it where the half moon is down your thumb end. So it's at the lower end. So you're here like this. They just saw both sides of this. Take your hand and put it on here and rub. Boom. An impossible production. They leak through whatever. They've appeared there. Nobody's thinking anything's in the case yet, right? So it's it's got a beautiful 3-beat theater here. Beat 1 number there. Number 2, you just take the rubber band off, which means that this gimmick card immediately falls, without any sleight of hand, it falls right on top of the deck and you're clean, right? So you've done it once like this. Now I'm just going to give it a rub here like this, okay? Or if you wanted to, take the rubber band off, put the deck aside. There's no heat here whatsoever. Come in and you could repeat the same action here. Either way, impossibly you revealed. Don't rush it. This was amazing. This is amazing. Nobody has any idea what's coming next. Then you hand some of the cards, and of course they pull out the cards, and they find impossibly their 2 selections are inside the freaking case. Here are just a few more rough ideas, okay? But I know they're going to appeal to some of you. First up, rubber band around the case. You could always have a prediction, right? You can always write a prediction for one or both the cards. Again, it's not about justifying the rubber band because the rubber bands need no justification. They're just rubber bands, right? Boom. But so you're not trying to justify them, but you're just trying to even further normalize them or make even more sense if you feel like that. But again, I often don't bother with that. You don't need to do that at all. Rubber bands, just rubber bands. Just want to emphasize that. When you do the change after one of the panels is gone, or depending on the different handlings or whatever, if you did in fact have you could borrow a bill, money is magic, you could say, or rather than using a change with your bare hand, which is really dramatic and beautiful, you could use a bill, right? Very simply, a borrowed object, use a bill, just rub it on here like this and have that change like that, or even maybe fold it in half to make it even cleaner like that, all right? Just going to change it under somebody's bill. So that's kind of cool, this whole notion of, you've heard of putting money where your mouth is, but we're going to put money where your mind is. We're going to sort of use your bill to connect with your thought in the card case, that kind of thing. So there's a dollar bill idea. Then also ending clean. I know some of you are going to want to end, since the card case can be examined, but what about the deck? Well, you're going to find this about routinning, of course, as long as you use a control. For example, the nice thing about the riffle for stop, okay, take a look at those two cards. You guys keep those in mind. You can just do a false cut. Cut, keep a break, and then double undercut, boom, and the two cards are still on top. So if you can control your force cards to the top, then a bunch of the handlings, you get the case after the fact. If you're reaching into your case, or even if you're wearing a jacket and the pockets are kind of loose, you can reach into your pockets or the case, and the moment your magic case, whatever, and as you reach into it, you can just drop the two off, grab whatever you need, whether it's the white handkerchief version or whatever it is, and then the deck can be examined because the duplicates are gone. So you can ditch the duplicates while also getting the card case, okay? So there's that idea. This, I got two more. Oh yeah, this is kind of interesting. Real simple. If you're messing around, I mean, here's just a very simple way. You don't need a card case, but I'll show you a card case idea here. Notice, you can just have a dollar bill banded around the case, right? Put your money where your mouth is. I'm going to bet at some point in your show, you're going to bet this and see if I can find your two cards, or if I can reveal your two cards. You're going to try to reveal them, and you cut to one, and boom, that's not it, okay? And maybe you do a nice color change here, or some color change. I'm going to reveal yours, and was that it? No, well, it looks like you guys get the money here. I guess, I wasn't able to reveal your cards. So what were your cards? Okay, yeah, wait. There's your two of spades. There's your three of diamonds. Super simple. Just a very funky case. If you wanted to up it one level, obviously you could start with your normal case, right? And this would be a case. This is the one time on the whole video where I'm going to suggest a switch, which is you could have the spectator remove the cards from the case. Case is ordinary. Cards are ordinary grading. I'm going to put a rubber band around this like this. You bound this around your case, okay? Now, if at some point you go for your marker into your jacket pocket, your pant pocket, your back pocket, and you switch the card case for this one with the bill around it, and you drop this on the table, okay? Nobody is going to, as the moment you drop it on the table, nobody's going to think to themselves, wait a second, that little bit of ink there is not showing on that one. What's going on? You've done your switch on the offbeat, drop it on the table, and at the end you can come back to this and do the reveal, and that's very shocking. But that requires a switch, so sort of a bit more work there. Last one here is this idea of no panel. Yeah, you could do that. Well, last idea, this is very different. Final idea here is, notice you could force the six of diamonds, right? Not the three of diamonds. Do your reveal. Boom. Was that your card? Was that it? They go, no. Well, it wasn't a three. It was a six. Well, good news is I actually have I have three on this side and three on that side, right? For your six. Or you can do three on this side and move it over here, and three on this side. If it's a bigger audience, again, really justifies. Well, actually, it is not. Well, actually, I have three on this side and three on that side, so I did get it. Okay, so you can do an additive thing, which sets you up nice psychologically for then that second card, pushing it through your hand. You could do you push it through your hand once, and this is Vernon's push through the fist move. And what I'm doing here is I'm pushing through, but not turning it over. I'm just pushing it through like this. But what's nice is you can go once, twice, and on the third time you actually don't leave it on the fingertips, you leave it on the palm, so that when you do it again, it comes out here. So having shown this to reveal the six of diamonds, you then can push this through once, push this concentrate on yours, and you get this really very magical final change. Boom. There you have it. That is AMAZINK. I think you'll agree that there's a ton of cool ideas and presentations and handlings, a whole bunch of different ways as well to use the gimmicks. I encourage you to watch this tutorial a couple of times, or make a short list and then start trying them out for real people in the real world today. I'm very confident that at least one or two of the handlings on this project are going to work beautifully for you. Thank you so much for watching.